Remember, getting in shape doesn't need to be expensive. A health reminder from Radyo Agila.
Mahigit sa 700 milyon na ang may edad 65 pataas sa buong mundo at madodoble pa ang bilang sa 2050. Japan ang may pinakamataas na bilang ng aging population, sumusunod ang Italy, Finland, Portugal at Greece. At dahil nagmamalasakit ang Radyo Agila sa kapakanan ng ating mga nakatatanda, narito ang aming paalala kung paano maging malusog at aktibo ang utak. Pag-inom ng tubig ng 6 hanggang 8 baso kada araw para ma-improve ang memorya at konsentrasyon. Pagkakaroon ng healthy diet, mas maraming gulay, prutas at isda, mas mabuti, hindi lamang sa katawan, maging sa kaisipan. Ang pagkakaroon ng sapat na tulog at exercise ay makatutulong din. Ayon na rin sa mga eksperto, ang pagsagot sa crossword puzzle ay nakapagpapababa ng panganib sa Alzheimer's disease. Importanteng habang nagkakaedad ay maging aktibo at malusog ang ating utak.
Hospitable natin, ganyan ka-amazing ang mga Pinoy. At kung gustong ma-enjoy ang mga awiting kulturang Pinoy, pakinggan ang Kalinangang Pilipino dito sa Radyo Agila.
Sa dami ng iba't ibang uri ng sakit sa ngayon, dumarami din ang mga gamot na nagsusulputan. Pero alam ba ninyo na ang tinatawag na natural way of healing para sa iba't ibang sakit? Kung ano ito, alamin sa programang Basta Natural. Basta Natural mapapakinggan Lunes hanggang Biyernes ng alas 7 ng gabi at Sabado ng alas 2:30 hanggang alas 4 ng hapon. Dito
Dapat mong malaman. Healthy ba ang lifestyle mo? Healthy kung tama ang kinakain at paraan ng pagkain. May physical activities, weight at stress management. Mahalagang kumain ng 3 healthy meals a day. Hindi brunch o pinagsama na ang breakfast at lunch. At hindi dapat na maging heavy ang meal sa gabi. At syempre, the bulk of food consumption should consist of healthy foods tulad ng gulay, prutas, whole grains, at fat-free o low-fat milk products. Malaki ang maitutulong kung hindi maninigarilyo. Mag-exercise at least 30 minutes a day at magkaroon ng sapat na tulog. Ito ang dapat mong malaman.
Ang paglalakad ay isang simpleng uri ng exercise. Pwedeng gawin patungo man sa trabaho, school, palengke, pag-akyat o pagbaba sa hagdan. Alam niyo ba na ang 15 to 30 minutes ng brisk walking o mabilis na paglakad araw-araw ay may malaking positibong epekto sa ating overall health? Ang mga benepisyo sa paglalakad ay ang mga sumusunod. Una, pang-iwas sa sakit sa puso. Pangalawa, malaking tulong sa digestion. Pangatlo, pinapatibay ang ating baga. Pang-apat, pinatitibay ang ating bones and joints. Panlima, panluna sa back pain. Pang-anim, hinuhubog ang mga kalamnan. At pampito, pinapakalma ang isipan. At ngayong alam nyo na ang benepisyong dulot ng paglalakad, ano pang iniintay nyo? Simulan na nating maglakad. Nakatitipid ka na, mabuti pa sa kalusugan. Isang pangkalusugang paalaala ng Radyo Agila.
Siyempre pa, Radyo Agila sa Amerika. At muli, ako po si Don Orozco. Mula po rito sa Silicon Valley sa California. At ang oras po namin dito ay 8:07 p.m. Alam namin na dyan sa Manila ay 12:07 ng tanghali. Pero yun pong ating guest ngayong araw na ito, pupuyatin natin. Dahil sa nandun siya sa bandang East Coast, which is probably 2 or 3 hours in advance, ano? So if I am not mistaken, it's 11 dyan. Tama ba? Tama ba,
Yeah.
11? 11
Yes.
dyan ng gabi, di ba? Ay, hindi ko na patatagalin, ano? Dahil sa you'll be blown away with the beauty of our guest. Our guest po is the Miss Filipina International for 2023. At ang magandang balita, naku, aabangan niyo po itong bukang ito because she will be competing sa Miss Universe Philippines this year representing the Filipino community in Florida. Na po? At you'll be surprised, she is just 22 years old. At siya po ay isang Afro-Filipina. Hindi na natin patatagalin para makita nyo na po sa ating screen, sa ating Facebook at YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, ang kasama po natin ay si Matea Mahal Smith. Hello and welcome to the show, Radyo Agila sa Amerika. Hello, Matea.
Hello po. Magandang gabi.
Yan. Just to let you know sa ating audience, ano po, that's the only Tagalog she can say, you know? Yun lang. And then, meron pa pala, konti lang. Those are the things that she can actually say, ano po. Ngayon, I was so fortunate to get to be introduced to her mom. Ito pong kanyang mother ay talagang sabi nga natin if there's anyone who will promote and really love you, yung iyong nanay. Kaya nung nakausap ko, sabi niya, kasi dapat ang i-interviewin ko, mami mo. Sabi niya, wag ako. Ang interviewin mo, my daughter. Sabi niya gano'n. Bakit? Sino ba yung daughter mo? As it turned out, you are the Miss Filipina International 2023. So, bago natin yan, because I know you were born and raised here in the US. Tama ba?
That's correct, yes.
Do you happen to know where your mom is in the Philippines?
She was born and raised in Makati and Alabang area.
Okay.
And now, at the age of 15, my mom left the Philippines to come to America, where my Lola was already in Wisconsin to meet her there. But when she came here, she didn't know any English. She only spoke Tagalog.
Okay.
Yeah, so she had to learn and had to adjust and really immerse, and it was a culture shock, to say the least. It was a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how it is. And was it Florida already, or was she? Did she start at a different state?
She landed in Wisconsin, and she stayed in Wisconsin for a couple years until 2001, I believe. My family moved to Florida.
Okay, okay. So, just for people to know, no po, Wisconsin is actually next to Minnesota, I believe, between Minnesota and Chicago, right? Illinois.
Yeah. The Midwest, yes.
The Midwest, yeah. And alam ko, I've been to the place where you call Wisconsin Dells. It's a pretty nice place, diba? But you never grew up there. Did you grow up in Wisconsin?
No, I didn't. I've actually
Okay.
only been to Wisconsin once.
Okay. And then, so sa Florida ka na. Sa
Yes.
Florida ka na. Ayan. Ayun. Okay. So, the question would be, have you been to the Philippines, Matea? Are you familiar with the Philippines?
Yes, I've been to the Philippines multiple times, about 8 times, I think. I think I've been going since I was 1 years old and just kept going throughout the years. So I've seen, whenever we would go, we would stay in Pililia Rizal with my family, and I always loved that because it was a lot of intimate family time and just living as if I was in the Philippines. Yeah.
Mhm.
It wasn't until I got older to where we started going to visit more of the Philippines, such as Ilocos, Sagada, Buscalan, Palawan, Boracay. So we got to travel a lot more when we
Mhm.
went in
Mhm.
last year in 2021.
Mhm. It's a good thing that you were able to maintain your figure, huh? Because you know how it is in Manila, especially the food, right?
That was hard. It was very
It
hard.
is very hard. And what would be the best food that you were able to partake whenever you are in Manila?
Whenever I go to the Philippines, the first thing I always want is lugaw with lechon kawale, specifically from Lugawan sa Tajeros.
Uh-huh. Wow,
That,
lechon kawale, huh?
yes, that's always my go-to to want to
Mhm.
eat whenever I go to the Philippines.
Uh-huh. Does your mom cook lechon kawale too as well?
She has before, not a lot, but because I'm dieting.
So I think whenever your mom cooks, like whatever, right?
Mhm.
She'll probably ask you, "Is it good?" Right?
Yes.
Then you'll say, "Yeah, ma, it's good, but don't do it again." Di ba? Oh, anyway, the excitement. I know that I've interviewed one participant for Miss Universe. I do not know if you know Bianca Tapia.
I do. Yes, we
Oh,
were
okay. So I
in.
had her interviewed, and she's already preparing to travel back to Manila,
Mhm.
and I think it's very close already. Am I right?
You are correct. Yes, I will be going to Manila on Tuesday, February 13th.
Really? This
Yes.
Tuesday already, next week.
Yes. Well, I'll land February 15th, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, since you are coming from Florida, is
Mhm.
there a direct flight from Florida to Manila, or do you need to travel to LA or probably San Francisco or New York?
We're actually going the other way. So
Okay.
we're going from Miami to Turkey to Manila.
Okay. Are you
Yeah.
going to stay in Turkey for a little bit?
Just a layover, a couple hours.
Just a couple of hours.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And then diretso na sa Manila.
Yes.
And then now, since you are officially a contestant for the Philippines Miss Universe, are you going to be housed in a hotel, or are you going to stay first in
We're going to be staying in a condo in Quezon City to be close in proximity to every event that is going to be taking place for the Miss Universe organization.
Okay. So being a contestant and representing, of course, Florida, right? Uh, are you? Do they? Does the pageant organizer pays for your accommodation?
In terms of housing,
Mm-hmm.
that is on it's not on the organization to provide that. It is on me. Yes.
Ang kunat naman ng Miss Universe organizing committee. Sabihin mo next time dapat sagutin na nila, 'di ba? Because kasi if you are ako just me. If you are encouraging people like you, because it is so nice to see pretty women, like you representing the Filipino community. So I think it is something that the pageant organizers have to look into to really foot the bill in terms of encouraging people like you to travel to the Philippines and represent.
Mhm.
Siguro sasabihin mo, uh, next time, next question please. Anyway, of all the places, because you mentioned earlier that
Mhm.
you've been to several places already, di ba? What
Yes.
would be the most memorable place that you've been?
Definitely Buscalan. And I
Ano
say
po
that.
lang? Just to give people, I frequented the Philippines also. I travel there every year, but
Mhm.
I haven't been to Buscalan. Where is Buscalan and what's in Buscalan?
So it is in the Cordillera Mountain region, which is in Luzon.
Okay.
Yes, and specifically what's in Buscalan is Apawong Od, and that is where I got my first tattoo.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yes.
Bob. Oh, yan. Bob is actually the one assisting us on this interview. Hey, Bob, will you be able to show the pictures already? The one that we've sent. Yeah, I remember you sending a picture with that old lady, and I heard she's already over 100, right?
Yes. She's, I think, 106 or 107.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And is that your? Did you say it's your first tattoo?
Yes, that was my first tattoo.
Did you have another tattoo somewhere else?
A couple weeks later, I got another tattoo. It is in Alibata. It's Mahal.
Okay,
Yeah.
but same process because when I watch on YouTube how they do that in Buscalan, that's the place, right?
Yes.
They actually
Yeah.
puncture you, right? I think it's so painful.
Yes. As a first tattoo, I was definitely a little scared.
Uh-huh. So
Yes, but I found
how,
it.
how how did it feel? Because there's no what you call this uh, what's this medication?
Like
Uh,
numbing cream.
yeah, uh-huh. You never use that.
No.
And how long was the process?
It was about 20 minutes.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
that quick?
Yeah,
What
it was
was
that's what I liked about it. It was really fast.
the design of that tattoo?
So, Appa Wong Od only does her 3 dots as her signature. So I got
Uh-huh.
that. That only took about a couple minutes, like 5 minutes at most.
Uh-huh.
And then I got the serpent eagle, like, encompassing, the 3 dots,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't that big. It's on the upper part of my back, but
Mm-hmm.
that took a little bit longer. That's what took about 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
And did it how much did it cost you?
Oh, it wasn't that much.
Okay. Uh-huh.
No.
But it was
But
really the experience, right?
it really was. It hiking that mountain, it's like an hour hike that you have to go
Mm-hmm.
to her house, and it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're walking along little streams, walking along rice terraces, so the
Uh-huh.
entire experience was priceless, I would say.
Uh-huh. Were you blown away when you saw the rice terraces of the Philippines?
Yes, because 'cause I've been to Banawe, and when I first
Uh-huh.
went to Banawe, I was like, "Wow,"
Uh-huh.
because I've never seen anything like it. We don't have rice terraces in Florida.
Well, you said you've been to Banawe and you've also been to Buscalan.
Mhm.
Uh, how was the walk? Because I know that it's mountainous.
Mhm.
And was there any point in time where you feel like it's dangerous to travel?
So at that time, when we went to Buscalan to Abawang Od, we didn't know we had to hike. It was a good
Uh-huh.
thing we were all wearing we were
Uh-huh.
all wearing good shoes, but there were some points where it was a little slippery. But
Hmm.
other than that, we made it through, and it was a great experience.
Uh-huh. And you went there like in the morning and then left Buscalan right after the tattoo?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, we had to get there really early. We got there, I think, at 4 AM.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm. And then, so you probably left home the night before.
Yes, we left, so we were staying in Sagada, and which is about a 2-hour drive, 3-hour, because
Uh-huh.
it's mountainous. So we left at 1 AM in the middle of
Mhm.
the night to get there at 4 AM. Yes.
And what was the motivation? Because one, it's so painful. Number two, the hike is very long, right?
Yes.
But what was the motivation? How come you felt like you want to have this? Because again, you have to be really motivated if you travel that far, go that early. What was the motivation for you, Matea?
When my mom gave us the itinerary for the trip, we saw we researched the places, my brother and I, and
Uh-huh.
we saw who Apa Wong Od is. So we did more research on her and the Pintados, which is a very rich history within the Philippines.
Mhm.
So we felt inspired to want to kind of be a part of that history and get those tattoos that she's been doing for
Mhm.
her Kalinga tribe for hundreds of years.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really is surprising, you know. And do you feel a fulfillment as soon as you are done? Of course, not just the fulfillment, but the pain as well, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Hmm. And was there any after effect? Like, what were you feeling after the after you were done with the tattoo?
The healing process was actually very good. Like I didn't feel much pain after,
Mm-hmm.
just maybe a couple hours after, but after that, every other day, it was like it was fully healed.
Mm-hmm. And you were not. How does the pin look like? Does she have to replace it like every now and then? Like you being a patient, does she use the same one to every patient?
No.
Okay.
So the needle is actually made from, I think it's from made from a part of a tree, and it's for you. So you get to take it home. So everyone
Okay.
gets their own. So it's very
Okay.
clean. Yes.
So you have it as a souvenir.
I do, yes.
But do you have to pay for it or it's part of the package
It's
already?
part of the package.
Oh, okay. Did your mom had a tattoo as well?
Yes, we all did. My
Oh,
entire
really? Even
family.
your brother? I know that you have two older brother, right?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. So
So only one of my brothers got it because my other brother wasn't able to come.
okay.
Yeah.
But does your brother enjoy the Philippines as well?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, yes.
Mm-hmm. Are they? I know that you are also into sports, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So what kind of sports are you into?
Since I was about 4 years old, I grew up running track,
Okay.
and I continued that until high school, and during high school, I got into swimming,
Mm-hmm.
and around and through the years, I tried other sports such as soccer and tennis, but my main sports were track and field and swimming.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that there was a point in time in your athletic meet or in your career as an athlete, you had this injury that you suffered, right?
I
What
did,
sort of
yes.
injury was that?
So my it was a hip injury,
Okay.
and my 6th grade year, I started feeling hip pain in my right
Mm-hmm.
hip,
Mm-hmm.
and I visited so many doctors, like
Mm-hmm.
across the entire United States, cities all over Florida, had a lot of imaging done. And I had my first surgery in 8th grade. I was 14 to repair a hip labral tear.
Uh-huh.
And even after that, after rehabbing and recovery, I still had some pain. So I visited more doctors.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it took about 3 years to figure out that I had hip dysplasia, which is a congenital hip disorder in which the alignment of your hips aren't positioned properly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wasn't in sports, it wouldn't have caused pain. But since I was an athlete, it was not something I could go day to day living with.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2019, I had a major surgery to repair the right side of my hip with the hip dysplasia. I had to have 3 screws put in. It was a very intense and draining surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a long recovery process. I was on crutches for 2 months, in physical therapy for 2 months, and after that I still wanted to try track and field, but my body wasn't ready, or wasn't
Mm-hmm.
there where it needs to be, and I still had some pain. So I had a third surgery to remove part of my screws and to shave down some bone in hopes that that would help as well.
Mm-hmm.
But even
So,
after all of that and trying all of the rehab and the process, I just couldn't get to where I needed to be as the athlete I wanted to be.
okay. So that's probably like frustrating for you because it is something that you love to do, and because of the injuries that you sustained, you were unable to really pursue and continue those, right?
It was very draining. I was
Mm-hmm.
very angry and just upset, and always just thought this is so unfair.
Uh-huh.
And I faced some mental health issues. I was depressed, and all of this didn't help that it was around the time of COVID. So it was
Oh,
already isolating,
uh-huh.
and adding this on top of it was more just pressure and kind of anxiety of what am I going to do when the one thing I've done my entire life is out of the picture at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a lot of time, and it still like affects me because mental health is not a one directional bad it's not a one directional type of therapy. It affects people different ways. But what really helped me was my family and telling them that I'm not okay. And they really understood that, saying that just feel your feelings. It's okay to feel
Mm-hmm.
sad. This is very valid, and just know that we're always going to be here for you, and we're going to support you no matter what. So that's what really helped me and brought me back to solid ground.
Oh, well, at least you were determined to do what you really love to do. And it is a trait that is really something that I adore you. And again, uh, there's some other calling for that. As a matter of fact, I one of the things that you wanted to be is to be in the medical field, right? But
Yes.
before we discuss that, we'll probably have to take a break, and we will all be right back. Magbabalik po ang Radyo Agila sa Amerika. Sandali po lamang.
EBC, Eagle Broadcasting Corporation. Ito ang Radyo Agila.
Ready to achieve your dreams? Welcome to New Era University, the gateway to your future. With campuses at Quezon City, Pampanga, Batangas, Cotabato, and Rizal. A non-sectarian institution offers top-notch education and a vibrant community. Enroll now for the semester starting on January 15, 2024, and take the first step towards your professional journey. And the best part, you can start for as low as 2,000 pesos. Join our family and be part of a legacy built on academic excellence. New Era University, where your ambition meets opportunity. Visit our website at www.neu.edu.ph or email info@neu.edu.ph or call 8981-4221. New Era University, dedicated to excellence and service to humanity.
Balik po ang ating programang Radyo Agila sa Amerika. At ako pa rin po ang inyong kasama, si Don Orozco. At syempre pa, dun sa mga nakikinig sa radyo, sa ating Radyo Agila 1062, I encourage you to switch to Facebook or YouTube. Bakit? Pagka nakita nyo yung ating guest, no po, very pretty. Di ba? So, napakaganda po ng ating guest. Bakit mo naman hindi napakaganda? Siya po ang magre-represent ng state of Florida para sa Miss Philippines Universe, no? Miss Universe Philippines Florida. Yan, no? Di ba? At sa Tuesday ay nakatakda po siyang umuwi pabalik ng Pilipinas para mag-prepare dito sa kanyang pagsali sa Miss Universe. Again, let's all welcome back ito pong si Miss Mathea Smith. Yan, Mathea Mahal Smith. Ang kita mo. Did you ever understand your name like Mahal when you were younger? Alam mo ba agad?
Yes, my mom explained from a young age what mahal means. It means love and expensive.
Mhm.
And she told me that she gave me this name because I'd have so much love to give this world and that she's always going to love me.
Okay.
And she gave expensive because she knew that I would cost her a lot of money.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? It has a
Yes.
double meaning. It can be that you are because pricey.
Yeah.
But how does your two brothers treat you? Because that's you know how it is, especially in the Filipino culture. You know, you have to go through the older brothers. You know, so how does your brother take care of you?
My brothers and I have a very large age gap. It's about 8 and 6 years.
Uh-huh.
My kuyas, yes. And from the time I can remember, they've always been very protective of me
Uh-huh.
and always just wanted to make sure that they knew that they supported me, that they knew that I knew that they supported me. And I really appreciate them for that because with anything that any goal that I had, they've always been right beside me, right in my corner, just there to support me no matter what, and always just looking out for my best interests.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Oh, but uh, yeah, are you like pretty tight, close with your two brothers? Because you were saying the gap is so long. It's like 16 years. Is that 16 years? So it's
6 years,
probably
6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
Okay, 6 and 8.
Yes.
Okay. So they're 30 and 28.
Yes, that's right.
Uh-huh. But still, you are pretty close.
Yes, we are. And that's something that happened towards my high school years when we got a little bit older. But
Uh-huh.
I'm very glad because they were around during those years and they saw me grow up and they've just always been there for me, always loved me. And through the time where I was going through my injuries, they really understood because they
Uh-huh.
were athletes as well that faced those injuries. So they were very sympathetic during that time. And I
Mhm.
feel that's what kind of drew us closer and what has
Mhm.
kept us so close.
You've undergone several surgeries, and you've really had it a lot of times. Is this the reason why you had the inclination to go into the medical field?
Yes, it has.
You were actually thinking of becoming a medical doctor. Is that correct?
Yes. I would say my injuries have definitely influenced my goal to become a trauma surgeon. And that stems from all the countless doctors that I've been to. They always were very supportive and very took care of me and my needs. And that was what I really wanted to reciprocate in order to give a positive impact to really anyone.
Uh-huh. And are you still going to pursue that?
Yes, I'm still studying, even though going through Miss Universe Philippines, being a trauma surgeon is still one of my goals as well.
Why trauma surgeon? That's pretty tough, right? Because you'll see. Forgive me about my the words, right? It's kind of gruesome, right?
Yes, it can be, but with as of right now, I chose trauma because it allows me to be able to take care of all types of people, whether it's age or different type of specialties. So I thought that it's a great way to be able to learn a lot about different types of people.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And that is probably one of the key why you've decided to participate as well in the Miss Universe in this beauty pageant, right?
Yes, I would say that participating in Miss Universe Philippines is a large platform to invoke change and to make an impact to propel advocacies and just to propel women in general.
Hmm. Well, now you were an athlete, right? You were an athlete during your high school days, and then again, the focus was actually to become a doctor. But there is a transition that went on from from an athlete to a beauty queen. how can you explain what was the reason behind the transition, and how did you fare? How did you do it?
So after I finished running track, I kind of didn't know what to do. But when I entered college, I started dancing. And how I learned about Miss Filipina International was actually at a Filipino festival in Tampa, Florida. And someone just approached me with the idea of, oh, you should join Miss Filipina International. And at the time, I never thought of wanting to do a pageant because it's not something I ever envision for myself. But I researched the pageant and I saw that, wow, this is so beautiful. Everyone is just so prideful in wanting to represent the Philippines and show off their culture, which is something that has been very important for me since I was a kid. So I thought, all right, this is something that I want to do. I should put the time and effort into it. And I'm very glad that I did because I wouldn't be here without it.
Hmm. It takes a lot of like time, effort, just to persevere, right? And of course, to a lot of time, because you have to practice and repractice, practice and practice, right?
Yes.
Just the walk alone, it's probably very difficult to master, right?
Yes. So learning everything about pageantry was very new. So I kind of just treated it as if it was a sport again with the practice, the determination. It's like, okay, I have to do this, I have to study this. So
Mm-hmm.
it became a new sport for me.
Uh-huh. And that's how you see it. The pageant as like another form of sports.
In a way, yes,
Uh-huh.
there's definitely different sides to it, but in terms of my work ethic, I think that viewing it as a sport is very beneficial for me.
Mm. Oh, definitely. But on that transition, how was how's your mom supported you? Your parents, how did they support you on that transition?
My parents supported me from the second I decided to join the pageant. From then, it was okay, what do we need to do? What do we need to know from and my parents really helped guide me as well through this entire process and support me to make sure that I was prepared and that I did everything that I could and to ensure that I had what it takes to
Hmm.
be into the pageant. So I'm very grateful for everything that my parents have done for me.
And what was the reaction of your classmates, high school classmates? Because you'll like ordinary guys and regular guys, right? And you'll end up like Miss Florida representing the Philippines, right? What
Yes.
was the reaction of your friends?
My friends were very shocked. So when I joined Miss Philippine International, I only told a few people, like a few of my close friends, because
Uh-huh.
I didn't know what to expect. But when they found out that I won, and a lot more people found out I won, they were like, "Wow, I didn't even know that you did pageants." So a lot of people were shocked, and they were very happy for me, and they're waiting to see what I do next from Miss Universe Philippines.
But what was the most difficult part to transition? Because again, uh, just the attire itself, uh, you have to in terms of like being in the track, you'll be wearing the same kind of like running shoes, so but in the beauty contest you'll have to like change every now and then. So was it a difficult one to do?
Not necessarily difficult, but new. It
Uh-huh.
was it was just something that I had to adjust to, just like learning the walk, learning the poise and the interview, and that
Mhm.
was different from track. That was probably a lot different than the sports that I did, but I was able to handle it and I'm still practicing those as I move into Miss Universe Philippines.
And during the athletic meet with your track and field career, right? Did anyone of your what's this opponents learn that you are also in the beauty pageant? because you were just trying to beat them into running, and here you go. You're now a beauty contestant.
Yeah, some of the people that I ran against in high school, they were
Uh-huh.
like, where did this come from?" So yes,
So it's really, really is surprising because it's really a completely different world, right?
it
Uh,
is.
and have you been preparing for what was the question asked from you? Because that is normally, remember, winning a beauty contest. It's not just the beauty, right?
Hmm.
It has to be with the brains.
Yes.
They say it shouldn't be like all forms. Hindi lang yung puro forma. Sabi, all forms and should have substance.
Yes.
So, what was the question? What was the question asked from you when you were asked during the contest, during the pageant?
The final question, it was, what is a piece of advice that you live by, given to you by your mother or grandmother or
Uh-huh.
Lola? Yes. So I talked about my mom because my mom gives me a lot of advice, but the most important one was to stay true to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that has resonated with me and will continue to. And that's how I'm going to go through this process, just being my authentic self and not trying to conform to anyone else's ideas or opinions.
Uh-huh. Was your two older brother there when you participated and when you were in the contest proper?
One of my brothers was there, and my other brother was watching from home because he had a busy schedule, but
Uh-huh.
they were both there to support me.
And were they teasing you?
Always.
No, there wasn't no teasing, huh? Maybe you should have done this. You should have, you know, like, oh, go ahead. You join the pageant.
Yeah.
Well, it really takes a lot of guts to join in a pageant, right? And uh, one of the things that you really have to have is consistency, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
You have to be disciplined because right now you have to control also your social media exposure. Uh, because social media really it actually there are those who are actually being destroyed because of social media, right?
Mhm.
But having all of this, I was just wondering what would be what's your life's advocacy.
My advocacy is removing the stigma surrounding mental health, and this was stems from a personal from it's personal to me because I did battle with mental health when I stopped running track,
Uh-huh.
because at the time I was depressed, but I was initially fearful of saying anything because I thought that my problems didn't matter, or I thought
Mm-hmm.
that I would be judged by just the way I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was my family that really took me out of that and showed me that this is something that you should be telling us. It's something that's valid, and your feelings are, it is okay for your feelings, for you to feel like this. So that is where it stemmed from, because I know that there are probably a lot of people out there that are suffering with mental health, but they're too afraid to say something in fear of what others may think.
Uh-huh.
But in reality, it is your life. So all that matters is how you think and how you feel about yourself. So,
Mhm.
yes.
That's a good thing to say. But what impresses me on what you just said earlier was the you overcoming depression. So so we've been well, people are hearing from us right now. So how what do you advise to them in overcoming depression?
Definitely tell someone. It could
Mm-hmm.
be anyone, it could be someone you know, it doesn't have to, or it can be someone you don't know. But I feel that definitely telling your problems and getting it out into the air is what makes it real, and what makes it able for you to be able to seek help and to get the resources that you may need. Everyone has a different problem. So I think that starting off by saying something is a step in the right direction of giving you the access to get better and to feel better.
Wow, that is such a good advice, especially you know how it is right now when depression is actually a big topic here in the United States, and of course it is all over the world, also in the Philippines, you know. But they always say there's always fun in the Philippines. There's more fun in the Philippines, right? Mm. And
Yeah.
I love your advocacy. And as a matter of fact, you were actually exposed into what's this? The Maya's Hope, right? You were even an ambassador to Maya's Hope. Maya's Hope, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is actually an organization that helps impoverished children and children with disabilities, and this is very huge. It is something that will actually take care and look after all of these children with disabilities. How come you it is something that you feel like it's one of your calling?
I was introduced to Maya's Hope in 2020 when my mom started actually volunteering for them first as a translator. And she would tell me about the stories of the children with disabilities that needed help. And from there, I gained interest. And when we were finally able to travel to the Philippines, we decided to make a stop in Tondo, where is the majority of the Maya's Hope children are, to visit them and just to hear their stories. And upon just seeing these children, although they are dealing with such major problems with their families and their wealth and their disabilities, it's like their faces didn't show it. It was as if they were living a very peaceful life. And I was just, it really gave me a new perspective on that you don't need all of these glamorous things to be happy. S- and yeah, and we got to take them to the Manila Zoo. And when I saw these little kids smiling and laughing, and the families just so happy to see their kids being like a normal kid for a day, it's really what drew me even deeper into the organization to want to continue to help them.
So in other words, Maya's Hope is actually not Florida based. It is something that you develop in the Philippines.
Yes, it's in the Philippines.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And is it like a family thing that came up with that Maya's Hope?
Yeah, so Maya organized the organizer or the founder is named Maya, and she made this organization to help these impoverished families with
Mm-hmm,
children that have disabilities as well.
mm-hmm.
And from there it grew, and it's also in Ukraine. So it's it's a very impactful organization, I would say.
Uh-huh. How was the experience? Because you actually hit it in the nail when you went to Tondo. Because Tondo, as pictured, has always been like an impoverished place, right? And I know that there's a lot of like uh, children with disabilities there as well. So how was the experience visiting Tondo?
So yes, we visited Tondo and Baseco, and in both of those places, there is a little facility for the children to go. They can learn education-wise as much as they can. But we went there to meet the children, and also we are able to give them resources such as medical supplies and groceries that we were able to fundraise. And I was really glad to do that because it may seem like a small thing to us, but it's very big for these families as well.
And how do you do the fundraising? Because the hardest part really is the fundraising part, right?
Yes. So with the
Did you
fundraising,
lose your beauty?
maybe. But in Florida, I would just go around to family and friends saying that, okay, can you spare a little bit to be able to give a family a set of groceries for us for this time? And a lot of people, upon hearing the stories, were so willing to give that money to help, and that's what I found very beautiful behind this organization and the people that I'm surrounded with.
This Maya's Hope, do they have a website or do they have a Facebook page?
Yes, it's mayashope.com.
Oh, mayashope.com.
Or .org.
Or just look for Maya's Hope.
Yes. If you search Maya's Hope, you'll find it.
Maya's Hope. And then, if people would like to donate, you know, in on for Maya's Hope, how do they do that?
If you go to the Maya's Hope website, there is a donate link there. And also on my website, mateyamahal.com,
Okay.
there is a link for Maya's Hope as well.
Okay. So, what was your website again, Mateya?
mateyamahal.com.
mateyamahal.com.
Yes.
So, pero hindi mahal yung fundraising, ha? But it's okay. Mahal is better for the organization, right?
Yes.
And again, for all of us, for all of those who are actually watching, listening, and if you have the money to donate po, don't forget Maya's Hope. Or you can actually go directly to mateyamahal.com.
Yes.
Is it? mateyamahal.com webpage, and you can actually do the donation there as well. Ano po? Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. I would
Thank
have
you for
wanted
that.
to ask for your number, but you know you will be swamped by calls when they finally when they see you. No, so let's not ask for the for the number. Just go to the website, and again for donations. And again, if you are fond of donating and helping children and children with disabilities, look for Maya's Hope. Basta Maya's Hope. Okay.
Yes,
Kasi
thank
hindi
you. Thank you
namin
for
tanda kung
promoting.
.org or .com or whatever. Pero the safest is mateyamahal.com.
Yes,
Is
thank
that
you.
correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Ayan, okay. I know do you have a lot of fans out there, okay, wishing you well and cheering for you. Before I let you go, baka meron kang gustong batiin, pasalamatan, the table is yours.
Yes, of course. I have to first thank my parents and my family for always supporting me no matter what. But and my family in the Philippines and all over the world, I just thank you all for believing in me. And to all of my supporters and fans per se, I'm very grateful that you are following me through this journey and that you are giving me the strength to work hard and represent Florida really well in Miss Universe Philippines. And I just know that I will give my 100% and I will do everything that in my power to prepare for Miss Universe Philippines. And I hope to make everyone who supports me proud. So thank you again.
And of course, thank you so much, Miss Mateya Mahal Smith. Siya po ang Miss Filipina International 2023, and you will see her in the Philippines competing for Miss Universe pageant. Ano po? Kaya let us all wish him well, no? And sa Facebook page po natin, you can send in your comments and wish her all the luck in the world. We wish you, Radio Agila, wishes you well, and I hope you bring home the bacon. Huh?
Salamat po. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So, yan po si Miss Mateya Mahal Smith at nakapanayam natin. At again, abangan po ninyo pagdating niya sa Pilipinas. At yung kanyang nanay, si Miss Mahal, tama? Diba?
Yes,
Mahal. Your mom is Mahal, right?
That's her Facebook page, but it's Miss Marilu.
Miss Marilu. Okay. Okay. So, yan. Si Miss Marilu. Yan po ang nag-aalaga sa kanya. Hello, Mami Marilu. Thank you for allowing us to interview your daughter, your lovely daughter. Okay. Yan, ako, naka-boundary na naman po ang ating Radyo Agila sa Amerika. Siyempre pa, ay bago tayo magwakas, would like to thank si Bob Arlalejo, no? At saka Bob, alam mo ba, ay 55th anniversary ngayon ng SEBC, no? Yung Christian Era Broadcasting Services. Happy 55th anniversary po sa inyo at may you have more to come, ano po. And again, next week magsama-sama po tayo muli sa isa na namang oras ng programang Radyo Agila sa Amerika. Mula po rito sa Silicon Valley sa California, ako po si Don Orozco at magandang araw po sa ating lahat.